kind of like it's the umbrella for like all of my entities under one.
Okay.
So you looking at her while you talking?
Okay, that was my next
Okay.
question.
All right. So first, I know I told you this another time, but I really am a fan. Like, so I told you I worked on
Thank you.
Boys and Swinging, and so I used to always hear your name, and I came to a couple of your events. So,
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
so
Your
all right.
phone vibrate?
My phone?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, hold on.
Making sure.
Okay. Is your phone on vibrate?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. So one more time, state your name and the name of your salon.
Carl J. And it's Carl J. Salon Suite.
Say the city and state.
Okay. My name is Carl J. The name of the salon is Carl J. Salon Suite. It's at 6370 Sunset Boulevard in Hollywood, California.
Okay. So how long have you been doing hair, and when did you start?
I've been doing hair for about 26 years. I started in high school. It's something that I just was inclined to do. I always had a passion for it, loved it. So that's how I like earned money through high school. I actually was just cutting hair. I was like a barber. And then when I went to beauty school, then I made that transition into cosmetology, and I graduated in '93 from beauty school. So it's 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Licensed for 25 years.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So that transition, like what was after that? So after your school, what was next? What did you? What was the first thing? Couple things you did?
After I went to hair school, I worked in my aunt's salon. My aunt was the one who kind of like lit the fire up under me. You know, she had a salon. She worked with Aveda. She was one of the first black Aveda salons that I ever seen, ever heard of. This one, Aveda, was kind of like new and up and coming. I worked in her salon for about a year as an assistant. Then after that, I made the transition into becoming, a stylist.
Okay, so a lot of people think that you're like just a Philly born and raised, but that's
Mm-hmm.
not true. Tell me a little bit about your Philly connection and your Jersey connection.
Okay, I was born in New Jersey. Father Philadelphia, though mother from New Jersey. So when my parents split, I have half of my family in Philadelphia, half of my family in New Jersey. So I was back and forth in Philadelphia a lot. Did some schooling here in Philadelphia, and obviously going through schooling, you have friends and things like that. And at the time when I came over to Philadelphia to work, the most popular salon in Philadelphia, like the It Salon, was Platinum Shears in Germantown. Like that was it. There was no bigger salon in Philadelphia. And the number one hair guy in Philadelphia was a guy named Leon Hutchinson. So I contacted Leon Hutchinson and told him that I wanted to work under him, wanted to work with him. He welcomed me. So went up to work at Germantown, which was like Philly Central. Like everybody who was anybody came through Philadelphia Air Company. And right downstairs was, Platinum Shares. Right downstairs was Philadelphia Air Company. So being there for years, it's like the whole,
Say that part again. Start from everybody who was everybody. Start from there.
anybody who was anybody came through that salon, whether it was Platinum Shares upstairs or Philadelphia Hair Company downstairs. Everybody came through. So being there for several years, I met everyone, so it kind of like I knew everybody. So when people know you from an area, people know you from a part of town, and it's kind of like Philadelphia just adopted me as its own. And then with all the hair shows I did here, and just I was always here. Philadelphia has kind of like shown me like the most support in anything that I've done.
So how long were you working in the salon? But you know what? We actually talked about this before. How long were you working in the salon before you decided to come from behind a chair and do something different? What year was that? And it was like, you know what? I want to do something different. And then what was that different thing?
I'm always knew, but see, I always knew that I wanted to do something different. I always knew that I wanted to have my hand in everything. I always knew I wanted to be a salon owner. I always knew I wanted to work with celebrities. I always knew I wanted to do hair. Like I knew that I wanted to do different things because unlike most people, I was a student of the industry of the trade. So I understood that there was a whole lot of lanes that I could go into. You know, I didn't know when I would want to, but I knew that these are different things that I wanted to do. I never wanted to be pigeonholed into one thing. So I knew it from beauty school. Like, I was always infatuated with the whole celebrity thing. I knew I wanted to do that. If you would have asked me 20 years ago, do I think I would be doing X, Y, and Z, I'd have said yes, because I knew that's what I wanted. But the salon creates that base. The salon creates that, gives you a place to hone your skills, to understand. I believe that foundation is something that every stylist needs, you know, so I knew that, you know what I mean? So as far as like working on set and doing things like that, that's something I've always wanted to do.
And so when was that, what year was that in your beauty career that you made that first, and what was it? What was that first thing from outside of the salon?
The first major thing was probably 96 when I was doing Lil' Kim and Foxy Brown. So
how did that come about? How did you get to Lil' Kim and Foxy Brown?
A friend of mine was a concert promoter. His name was Big Scott. He was a concert promoter, and he bought Biggie Smalls in town. He's really good friends with Biggie Smalls. So at that time, he told me he would introduce me to Biggie Smalls. Lil' Kim was like the hottest thing in the world. So I knew Lil' Kim would be with him. So I said, could you just introduce me to Biggie Smalls? And he was like, I'll introduce you to him. So I put together a portfolio. I didn't have one, but I was forward thinking. I put together a portfolio, took pictures, did all of these things. And at that time, when I met Biggie, I introduced myself. Scott was like, yo, he's really good. Gave him a portfolio. He said, I'll put it in her hand. I can't make no guarantees. He put it in her hand. I got a phone call, and you know, Big said, come on up. He was living up North Jersey at the time, and that was it.
Oh, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing? So you can sit right there. Right?
Yeah, but I'm just scared that she won't sit.
So he'll let you know. He'll let you know. Okay. So when we stopped.
Lil' Kim.
Lil' Kim. Okay. Let me see. Right there. Yeah. Yep.
So then it went from Lil' Kim to Foxy Brown to Faith to, like, I did that first leg of Diddy's, Puff at the time.
Hold on. You want me to start over? Mm-hmm. So when you hear her open the door again, stop talking.
Okay.
Okay. So start. You said it went from Lil' Kim.
So I went from Lil' Kim. I went up to North Jersey, met Lil' Kim through Biggie, did her hair a couple of times. They loved it. And being in that circle, I did her hair for a video that she did. And I met Jay-Z on the set of that video. And then I tied into Foxy Brown. So I started working with Lil' Kim and Foxy Brown. And then from that point on, I did the first leg of Puff's No Way Out tour back then with Lil' Kim, Foxy Brown, like Faith, Mary J. Blige. So I did like that whole camp. And then once I got like a taste of that and got my feet wet in that, then it was just like, I knew, you know, that's what I wanted to do at that time.
So talking about this, so that was like you did that on your own. That was from the muscle.
From the muscle.
So now talk to me a little bit about social media. So now, you know, people are DM somebody just like I DM'd you.
Mm-hmm.
Say, hey, you know, how do you feel about social media and how it has changed the world, the beauty industry?
For the good and the bad. I think that.
So repeat, can you repeat
sure.
that to me? Repeat social media, like social
Okay.
media has changed.
Okay. How do I feel social media has changed the beauty industry? I feel social media has changed the beauty industry for the both good and the bad. And it's kind of like depends on whose hands it's in. You know, like you put it in the right person's hands and it's going to work good for good. If you wrong person's hands, it's going to work for bad. For instance, like as far as marketing and promoting, I feel like social media is a really good thing. That's outside.
But you got to let me know because I don't know. Where's she coming?
She's about to come out. So what? Just wait until she comes out, right?
And let me see. We have. Tell you how many more we have.
I'm in no rush, man.
Okay.
No, take your time. If I was in a rush, I wouldn't have did it.
Okay.
I don't put myself in boxes like that. I like to,
Yeah, I know. I was like, I know
somebody says an hour, I give myself 2. If somebody says 2, I say 3. Cause I just know how things work. Things don't always. I don't like to.
This is like, like I don't have, all I'm giving you is the footage. So I'm like, I just trying to be conscious of people's time.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine.
We're making good time though.
You ever think about like starting like doing like a YouTube channel video?
I actually want to get your opinion on it because I was telling Wesley, I really don't know what this is. I just know that it's needed.
Mm-hmm.
I know that we live in Philly and it's so many bomb hairdressers here that's only hairdressers. They not stepping outside the box. And I feel like the best way to show them is through the experiences of those who have.
Mm-hmm.
So I interviewed 3 people so far.
I see you did Michelle.
Yeah, Michelle,
Fahim,
and Chuck. So, and you were on the list, but I'm like, it gotta be more together. So when you said you was with it, we was like, oh snap! Like we didn't even think you would be interested. So we like hype.
Yeah, for sure. I feel as though it's a good thing. Definitely, I feel as though it's needed.
I think we might as well because she's not going to be quiet.
You don't think so?
You think?
Just try it. Just if she's not.
Yeah. So we were doing one question at a time. So yeah. So. All right. So, and then we only got like 5 questions left. Okay. Good. All right. So, where did we leave off at?
Social media.
Social media.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. So you said you think that social media has had a good and a bad.
I believe that social media has had a positive and a negative effect on the beauty industry. Positive effect because you can use it for marketing and promoting, which is a great thing. Showcase your work. That's in a positive way. But in a negative way, I think that number one is created a lazy hairstylist. So I believe that the hustling aspect of it is gone. So yeah, she's not going.
She is so cute.
Thank you. Wow. Daddy be back.
Bye-bye.
I think that
that was deep.
Yeah.
I think it has created a lazy stylist.
Yeah, it's created a lazy hairstylist because half of my career and the things I've accomplished has been without social media. So I understand what it's like to do just straight flat foot hustling, to go out to market, to engage people, to hand out cards, to create portfolios, to show up to events, to show up to different places and make yourself known as a stylist. That aspect is pretty much gone because of social media. Number 2, I believe that social media has compromised the earning potential of hairstylists because we show so much of what's done and how it's done that we give our talents away for free. Like you can just go online. When I say social media, I'm talking about everything. I'm talking about YouTube, everything. So what it is like no longer do people have to like pay for classes. So it has compromised classes. People feel like they know everything already. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all these things, it just shows you so much up close and personal that people can just see it and people can just learn your craft, and I believe that had a negative effect that way. Also, it's created a hairstylist to where it's really no longer about the client and it's more about the stylist today. And now we have an industry of stylists who do things to be seen. Everybody wants to be seen. There's no purity in the industry no more. Everybody wants to be what you should create your client to be. Everybody wants to be the star. Everybody wants the spotlight to be on them. Everybody wants to be it. Whereas though a true artist wants his work to be it. Picasso, you don't even know what he looks like. You look at Van, you don't even know. Like these artists, their work is something that they want showcased or they want the light on. So it kind of like has reversed that. So now we have a whole industry of people who is the look at me industry, and it's about the money. It's about followers, and it just completely watered down the industry, and people are basing great stylists on the amount of followers they have, what they wear, just different things like that. Where the stylist who very well may be the best at coloring, the best at cutting, the best at weaving different things, who may not be that engaging on social media will get looked over for someone who has way more followers, but the work isn't that way. So I believe that it's had a positive and a negative effect. So it's good and bad. I mean, it's what you make it. It's what you make it. I just believe it can be very misleading at times.
So you talked a little bit about skill. One of the things I didn't write down I wanted to talk to you about was your cutting. So when I look at your videos on Instagram, like you have a really, like the way you cut is really, really something. Like,
thank you.
It really is. Like, so where did you get that edge? So it has a real polished, edgy.
I like to say my haircuts look expensive. It's an expensive looking haircut.
Are they expensive?
They are, but there's a lot of people who have expensive haircuts, but they don't look it. Do you get what I'm saying?
I do.
Like you can look at a pocketbook or look at a shoe and say, that's a nice, that's quality, that's a good shoe. You get what I'm saying? Without seeing a name on it, without anything, just the quality of the craftsmanship and the quality of the work. Do you get what I'm saying? So. How I got that is because I understood that, once again, I come from a time where you had to do hair. I come from a time where we were fundamentally sound. Now if there's no thread, bold hold, or no needles involved, 75% of the industry is lost. They can't earn a living. They can't make money. So, first of all, I had the foundation. Second of all, I understood that a haircut is the foundation to any style, anything. And I always understood that. So I said, okay, if I can create a haircut that, number one, is set apart, that looks different than in other people's haircuts. So I started studying the Vidal Sassoons. I started studying the Toni and Guys, and Vidal Sassoon is who I went and worked for when I was in Los Angeles. I went in Beverly Hills. So I started studying these giants, started studying these greats, and polishing my work and studying and mastering the haircut, and understood that the haircut was the most important thing. And if I can cut hair, I will eat for the rest of my life. Things are going to come and they're going to go. Your believe it or not, your lace units are going to come and go. Your frontals are going to come and go. Your closures are going to come and go. All these things are going to come and go. There's going to be different things. Like we've seen things just in the last 10 years come around and go. But one thing has been a constant, and those things are cutting. Those things are coloring. Those things are those things. So I wanted to master that, and the haircut is the most important thing. For instance, when I go to a lot of urban salons, a lot of black salons, I'll say, okay, you see the menu will say cutting, shampoo and style, $50, or shampoo and style, $60. Cut and style, $90, or cut and style, $100, or whatever. The cut is the add-on. And I always believe that the cut shouldn't be the add-on. I always believe that the curl should be the add-on, because the cut is why is your curls costing more than your haircut? Why is your shampoo and curl $60, but a cut and curl $100? Why are you charging $40 for something that's going to last them for months, and you're charging $60 for something that's going to last them for days? They're going to keep coming back to you week or bi-weekly for those curls, for those presses. They're going to keep coming back to you for that. So you're always going to be able to make that curl money, that style money, you're always going to be able to make that money. But they're not going to come back to you for that cut until it grows out. So you might not be able to make that cut money for 3 months. So get the money when you can get the money, because you're not going to be get that money for the next 3 months. And it's more work. It's harder to do. And if you do a good haircut, it's more time consuming. So all of those things matter. And that's why I've taken so much into that, because I do lace fronts. I create wigs. I do all that. But when that cut is on it, that makes it look, that sets it apart. The work, that sets it apart. So that's why, and that's how.
It's so interesting that you talked about Vidal Sassoon. So the young lady whose salon we are in, her mother took the Vidal Sassoon in London, wherever it is.
London.
Yep.
B Street.
Back in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So I came up under her. So she taught me how to cut. Her mom. And she used to always tell me that if you know how to cut, you can eat. So it was like, so they taught me how to cut, but she had her salon for 30 years. Her husband was 70. She was 60 when they closed their salon. Mm-hmm. So I needed to do hair a little bit younger. So when I went to a younger salon, it was so easy for me to catch on because I knew how to cut. Mm-hmm. So it was easier for me to catch on. So it was really, really good. I'm gonna have to keep that whole thing in there. We're not gonna be able to chop that.
I keep it.
Okay. So tell me about that first hair show. Where did that even come from? Where was it, and how did it even come about?
It came about because at the time I was. Okay, my first hair show. How that came about. At the time I was working heavy in the celebrity world. I was working with Megan Good. I was working with Vivica Fox. I was working with Eva Pickford at the time, America's Next Top Model, Paula J. Parker for Hustle and Flow. So I was working very, close with them. So I wanted to do a hair competition. I've always competed in competition. I always did like the Golden Scissors Awards in DC, Wiggum Jackson and things. So I've always had that. So I always said, I can incorporate my celebrity clients in. I can create a platform for people to showcase their talents and have the right people looking at them. So I had the Hype Hair magazine, I had the Black Man magazine, I had, the different celebrities be the judges. So it's kind of like people who aspire to be celebrity hairstylists, they can get a shot. Because a lot of people can't access those people. So I'm going to bring them to you. So people are doing a hair show, you get a chance to shoot your shot with major celebrities sitting right there, content judging. You can, interact with them, do whatever you wanted to do. So I created a platform and created a hair show for that. So that was the main purpose and the main reason why I wanted to create the Karl J Celebrity Hair and Fashion Show. And it went over very well, too well, actually. But that was the premise. That was the first.
Where was it?
That one was in Cherry Hill. First one I did was in New Jersey. And it was just, the turnout was way too big. I mean, it was like thousands of people showed up. It was my first show. Had a lot of things in it that now, in hindsight, in retrospect, I said, okay, well, I shouldn't have did this. I shouldn't have did that. Should have been more structured here, organized there. I didn't need this. So I could have left that out, but I didn't need that. So I kind of it was just, I created a storm and I had no idea what I created. I wanted to make sure that it was well intended. I wanted to make sure that went over well. So I just went so hard on that show.
So how? So you didn't have social media then. How did you do that?
In and out of every salon in Philadelphia, in and out of every salon in Delaware, in and out of every salon in Jersey. Posters, 100,000 flyers, Power 99, WDAS, everything. Everything there was to do. Everything. Rapping polls and, just engaging stylists,
You was doing most of this yourself?
No, I had a promotional team. I would go into the salon, introduce myself. Hi, this is who I am. This is what I'm doing. This is, give them quick about the show. And then once I engaged the stylist and got them to know what I was doing. Then after that, I would have my promotion team follow up. Like, okay, this guy will be coming in and do this and do that.
What did that feel like? You going into the salons and you introducing yourself and you telling somebody about a dream you don't do it. How did you get the guts to do that? Were you scared?
Not scared, but not scared of engaging. but scared that it wouldn't meet. Cause I have a very high standard for myself. So scared that the standard wouldn't be like I wouldn't deliver on the level that I had set for me. So that was the most. That was the most. I don't want to say scary, but you get what I mean. But that because I really wanted to. I had a goal, and that hair show and the hair shows to come were just steps to that goal, and I knew that. See, I already knew what that hair show meant. It wasn't just about the hair show; it was what's to come after it. So that's why I needed it to be, I needed it to be right. And it was. Even with all the controversy that surrounded it and everything that went down because there was too many, that helped me. At the time, I'm like, oh my God, this happened, that happened. But if I could change a thing, I wouldn't change a thing because that is what really catapulted me to the next one and to the next one and to the next one. And no matter what you do, and I'll say this to people who want to do things, whether you want to do a show, whether you want to do a class, no matter what you do, just do your best. You're never going to be able to please everybody. And you're going to wear yourself thin trying to. You're always going to have people unhappy. When you do hair shows, if you have 15 contestants, just know that 14 of them are going to be mad at you. Only the winner is not. You get what I mean? So just be prepared. You have to have thick skin. And you have to believe in what you're doing. It has to be a labor of love. Because if you're doing it for any other reason, you're not going to survive. You have to believe in what you're doing. When everybody else is standing around you and they're saying don't, or they're mad at you with this, or mad, or whatever reason, you have to believe in what you're doing. Have thick skin. You have to. Or you're going to second guess it and you're going to regret it. And I don't have any regrets.
That's good. Tell me about your link up with the money team. That's like a whole nother level. Like you are a part of them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a boxing crew. Like what's that about?
Well, what happened with that was, damn, it was crazy. I gotta kind of think how that link up happened.
And say it. Make sure my link up with my connection to the money team. Make sure you say it. You answered one of my questions already too. Just to let you know, so we here.
Jeez, how did I?
Or you could just talk about your experience. You don't have to talk about actually how you got it connected. Just talk about your experience with the money team.
Okay, all right. Can I forget? When I say I forget, so my connection and my experience from working with Floyd Mayweather and the money team. I went to Vegas maybe about 5 years ago. His daughter's mother, Melissa. She's Melissa Renee on Instagram. She's the mother of Ayana, which is Money Yaya, Floyd's daughter. She had a boutique in Las Vegas called Divina Love. She still does. And we contacted and reached out to each other because we had mutual friends by this time in the industry. And, she wanted me to come there and work with her. And I wanted to go there and work. So she had in the back of her boutique, she had a little salon area. So I went there and I stayed there the first time I went, I stayed for 3 months straight. Without coming back. I went and stayed out there for 3 months straight.
And you were working?
I'm working. Met her. She introduced me to Floyd at his, a couple days after I got there. It was around the time of a fight. He was fighting, I forget who he's fighting. But anyway, before each fight, they throw him was an appreciation part, appreciation part of the money team. And she invited me. I did his daughter's hair, Ayana. She invited me to this big gala. I went. She introduced me to Floyd. First thing he said when he met me was, I'll never forget it, he was like, keep up the good work. I like what you're doing. So he was already abreast of what I was doing. So met him that night. It kind of started from there. So was going back and forth to Vegas. He would send all his friends to me, the different girls in the money team. I've done Ayana for years, different situations, different events. His daughter's mother, Melissa. Just engaged with them. It gave me, going to fights and, so just like that whole family, his, the mother, the father, the grandparents, they were just like, they just accepted me as one of their own and, just really took care of me, been nice to me from day one. So my experiences working with, Floyd, and I've been to several of the parties, been to the house, been to the barbecues, been to so I'm a known guy in a circle. Everybody knows who I am. Like that's the hair guy. You get what I mean? So he's always been kind. He's always been pleasant. And always looked out for me. So all my experiences with them have been really, really, really good. Really good.
Okay. Tell me. So you told me about a flat iron, which I like.
No, I didn't.
You told me about.
I didn't.
No. I'm saying you told me. I'm just saying.
Okay.
You told me about a flat iron. You told me about a global education project and a wig collection. One by one, can you state it first and then tell me about it?
Okay. The Karl J. Flatiron. Something that kind of like fell on my lap. I was working in Italy at the time. I was abroad working. I was in Italy for 6 months working. And a company out of New York City called Nicka K, which is, they make Absolute Hot, which is like a major company in the beauty industry. They make flat irons, blow dryers, curlers, just everything. If you're in the industry, you know Absolute Hot. So they contacted me via email and they were like, we want to create a flat iron for the industry professional. The flat iron that we create now is just for like the everyday, mother or girl at home, but not like to industry standards. And we want us, you to be the name and the face behind the product, behind this flat iron. We want you to help us design it. We want you to help us market it. We'll call it the Karl J. Flat, whatever. So we went in for the meeting. They're in New York. Went in for the meeting, and they said they chose me out of anybody they can choose, which is very humbling. And they wanted me to be the name and the face behind this product. So obviously I was happy to do it. I created the flat iron, the plates, the shape, the heating mechanisms, the cords, the packaging, everything. So we took about almost a year of going back and forth about what I wanted, what I thought that the professional would really, really love. And we created a Karl J. Flat Iron, which is amazing. Titanium, floating plates, waterproof plates, 450 degrees within 10 seconds, 9-foot swivel cord, 1 hour shut off. So if you leave, everything that I felt like was important to me, I felt like I was qualified to speak for hairstylists around the world. Like what's important to us, what matters to us. So I was like, okay, we leave our flat irons on all the time. They blow out, things like that. So I want them to shut off within an hour, if you don't open and close them. They have dual voltage. So I traveled a lot. I was in Europe a lot and different things like that. So a lot of times with plugging them in, a lot of problems I'm had when I use my stuff here, when I go over to Italy, I would have to buy an adapter or things just didn't work right because they run on a different current there. So I wanted something to where people, whether they were buying it from the Middle East in Dubai or Kuwait or Italy or Paris or Philadelphia, they're able to plug it in and it work. 1 year warranty, floating plates so that it doesn't snag, when you're curling the hair. I wanted a round barrel, unlike, a lot of my competitors that are square, so it allows me to really get close to the nape line, close to the hairline, and really just do whatever I needed it to do. It's not needing 2 and 3 flat irons on my station, but 1 flat iron that can do it all. The hair doesn't have to be completely dry, which is, it's a waterproof plate. Like if you ever seen me do a demonstration, like I'll stick it in a cup of water, take it out. I'll plug it in, I'll be curling your hair, stick it in a cup of water, take it out, and go right back into curling your hair. Heats up instantly. Titanium, which is the safest plate that you can possibly get for hair. So I took all of this into consideration before creating a flat iron.
Talk to me about the global education project.
So I've always the Carl, I call it Carl J Global, Carl J Global.
You say it straight.
Okay, it's called KJH, Carl J Hair World, and it's a globe because what it is I've been blessed to work around the world. I've been an international stylist for a long time. I've worked in Italy, like I've stated, Barbados, Trinidad, Jamaica, Paris, the Netherlands, St. Martin, um, all over. I've been blessed to work all over the world and take my talents there. And I met a lot of amazing stylists in these different parts of the world. And a lot of times, these countries, they're not as privy to the education that we have here in the United States. So what I wanted to do was create, or what I have done, was create an international styling team. I want an international styling team for different parts of the world. So we can go into different parts of the country, different parts of the world and educate. Educate in different who may not have the skill set that we have, may have not have the access to the things that we have here in the States or wherever, and teach them. So I've been really big on education. So because I know that's the foundation to everything. So I wanted to create something, and a lot of my friends here in Philadelphia who are really, really great at what they do, say, okay, let's create a styling team. Okay, let's create a styling team. You're very great at this. You're great at that. Everybody has a strong point. So what we're going to do is, based on the class or based on the curriculum, we're going to go into Barbados. We're going to go into Africa. We're going to go into, wherever we go and teach and give back to, these hairstylists around the world, and then pick the best from that group of people and keep growing it and growing it and growing it, so that when people want a book or when people, but they have to fall under the Carl J training. Everyone has to be trained in cutting. Everyone has to be trained in engaging, teaching. But just because someone is really good at what they do, don't mean they're really good at translating that to to a student and getting it across. So that's, a process and a course that everyone has to go through. And then when they come through on the other side, it's like we can send them to different places and make money. Kind of like a, what's it called? An agency, like an agency, and, we'll delegate work to different parts of the world, and send out who we think is best fit for this particular job.
That's amazing.
So that's what we're in the process of doing now.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Talk to me about your wig line.
Well, my wig line is something that I started maybe about a year ago. And what I do is I create custom, units. I don't, by hand or by sewing machine. And what I do is I create the Carl J signature look with the units. Because a lot of times people will have, people all the time were like bringing me their wigs and saying, could you cut it? We want it to look like this, we want it to look like that. So I filled a void. I was like, okay, well, a lot of people are selling these units. A lot of people are selling these, making these wigs, but they're missing that polish on them, that lick on them. So people are getting the units and are getting them put on and sewn on, but it's that something missing, that polish, that look, that, like you were talking about, my cutting, that coloring, that thing to take it to the next level. You get what I mean? So like you get it, but then you want to, now you got to take it to somebody else for this. Now you got to take it to somebody else for that, because you want it toned, you want to cut, you wanted this, you wanted that. So with my bobs and, with different things like that, with my bangs, like different thing I'm known for, I wanted to put that uniqueness. So it's just something different about your unit. It's just something different about because a lot of people are getting their units basically like from 2 or 3 different places. So it's like when you get it, it all looks the same until, okay? So I want it to be that until part and to separate your unit from what everybody else is doing. So that's basic. That's where my units, I believe, differ from everybody else's.
What's the name of your unit line?
The Collection by Karl J. And that's another thing that's really big with me is the marketing aspect of it, because everything is consistent. My Twitter is Karl J. Hair. My Instagram is Karl J. Hair. My Facebook is Karl J. Hair. My email is karljhairla@gmail. My wig collection is the Collection by Karl. Everything is consistent. And I try to tell people all the time, KIS, keep it simple. Don't make your Instagram like brown-eyed _20 dash, because people are going to try that one, or your email, pretty mama, chocolate, Number one, it's not professional. Number two, if you have too much for people to do, if they don't get it the first and second time, they're just going to say, to hell with it. They're not going to try it anymore. Number three, when you create businesses and you just type in Karl J Hair, or you just type in Karl J, if everything is consistent, everything will come up. You get what I mean? Everything will come up under that. You'll be like, oh, I didn't know he had flat irons. Karl J Flat Iron, Karl J Salon, Karl J Hair, Karl J Global. It all comes up. But if everything is called something different, then people are going to have to search things individually, and it's just not good marketing. Keep it clean.
So tell me what things you have coming up.
Well, what I'm doing now, the global education thing I'm doing.
Say it. What I'm doing now, call it what it is.
Okay, what I'm doing now, the KJH, the Karl J Hair World, which is a global initiative for me to pick. I've been blessed to work with and know the most talented stylists in this country, whether they're in Houston, Chicago, Atlanta, LA, Philadelphia, Jersey, wherever. I have great relationships with these people. So I'm going to use my relationships to basically fortify that and give everybody a lane to work out in that. Number two, without going too deep in it, Karl J, I moved to Los Angeles maybe about 3 years ago to broaden my brand, to go into a global market.
It's not notice for me. Okay.
To go into a global market. There's only two places in the United States that are global, and that's Los Angeles and New York City. Everything in between is local, perceived by the rest of the world. So whether you're in Houston, whether you're in Atlanta, whether you're in Philadelphia or Chicago, they're considered local markets to the higher ups. When you're based in New York City, that's recognized around the world. When you're based in Los Angeles, it's recognized around the world. So I wanted my brand to be based in a global market and with a thriving economy. So that's why I moved to Los Angeles, number one. Number two also is because I wanted my brand to be expanded. Like I believe that everyone knows me here, okay? And they should. I've been doing the same thing for 20 plus years in one localized area, so they should. So it's kind of like, okay, it's time to grow. You got to go so you can grow. So I took that leap of faith and went into a larger market to do what I do and exercise, my brand and put it in the lap and in the face of people who can help me take my brand to the next level. So we moved to Los Angeles, and it's been great. It's been wonderful. It's been the best move I've ever made. So what I have coming up in Los Angeles, I'm going to do something here in Philadelphia, something unlike Philadelphia has ever seen. Like I can't speak. I don't want to speak on it because I don't want anybody to take it and steal it. But they're going to be simultaneous in Los Angeles and Philadelphia at the same time. They're going to be the same thing, and they're going to be. I've learned so much over the last few years, So it's I'm in the process of doing it, and it's going to be amazing. Like when I say amazing, like I don't do anything that I'm not inspired to do. I don't do anything just because. I don't do anything just because I'm Karl J. Just because, like that's why I haven't done a show in years. I know if I was to do a show, thousands of people would come out. I know it because I know how to do a show. But nothing is moving me to do it other than a financial gain. You get what I'm saying? Like, or open a salon. I could open a salon and I know I can get great stylists to work in there and it'd be busy. But it's something had to like hit me like, whoa. Like, and everything I've done, like even with the Karl J. Hair Show, did the Karl J. Hair Show in New Jersey first. It was what it was amazing. Next time I said, okay, I'm going to do the Taj Mahal in Atlantic City. So the next year I did it in the Taj Mahal in Atlantic City. Amazing. Oversold that. Megan Good, Vivica Fox. It was amazing. And then I said, I want to do something different. So I took it to Miami. So I did the Karl J. Hair Show in Miami. We did the Karl J. Hair and Fashion Show. We did the fashion show on a yacht the day before. Then the next day we did the big hair competition in Miami at the James L. Knight Center. And then I said, oh, I want to do something different. So we took it overseas and I did the Karl J. Hair Show in Barbados, hosted by Megan Good and Vivica Fox. And I have Rihanna's mother and her brother front and center. And we took it international. So 7,000 people, the biggest hair show ever to touch the island. Like I'm cemented in that island in Barbados now. Then I said, okay, I want to come back, but I want to do something different. So I did the Leah Core Center. Like nobody's ever did a hair show in the Leah Core Center, So I did the Leah Core Center, and it was amazing at the Leah Core Center. So it was like, as you can see, whenever I do something, I do it. It's very deliberate and intentional. I just don't do it to do it. Like every hair show that I did a hair show, but it was something different about it. Oh, that was the one in Miami. That was special. Oh, that was the one in Barbados. That was out of the country. Nobody's ever taken a hair show out of the country from Philadelphia. That was special. You know what I'm saying? It was like the Leah Core Center. Like they do major concerts there. Like who's going to have the balls to do a hair show at the Leah Core Center?
What does it take? What does it take for you?
Faith. It's just faith and hard work, and that's what people really don't have. It doesn't. That's what it is. And
what type of hard work? What type of hard work does it take? Like what does it take? Like I want this.
People have there's certain people that are born. I used to didn't think, and I say this in the most humble way, and I want people to, if you're looking at this interview, I don't want you to think this is arrogance at all. This is just truly how I feel. I used to think that there was nothing special about me. I just have a dream. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to make sure that it works. I'm going to make sure, because I'm going to work too hard for it not to. And then as I got more deep into it, then I started realizing like there is something special about me. There is. And I'm not going to deny it to make other people feel comfortable. I'm not going to dim my light because I don't want anybody, but I know that there's something special about me. I know that there's something about me that draws people. I know that there's something about me that has the ability to think beyond the norm. That I don't think that I'm more special than anyone. That's the difference. I don't think I'm more special than anyone, but I know that there's something special about me. And other people have to figure out that there's something special about them. That's not my job. My job is not to figure out what's special about you. That's your job. And then once you figure out what's special about you, then you should be able to stand up and say there's something special about me. Do you get what I'm saying? So I understand what my gift and and what that being special is. So um, because to be able to do this on this level for 25 years is 5 people maybe. Like to be able to say, yeah, I have a successful salon for 10 years. The only reason I closed it because I moved to Los Angeles. Yes, I have a successful flat iron that's been on the market for 5 or 6 years. Yes, I'm a legitimate celebrity hairstylist for the last 20 years. Yes, I'm an international educator and stylist. Yes, I've been consistent from Lil Kim to Black China and everybody in between over the last. I've seen them come and go. Yes, I'm bi-coastal. Now I'm in LA. Yes, I sell out educational classes. Like to be able to hit on all of those for 25 years is when I look around, it's like, damn, like there's like very few people. So you got people who are hot now. And I like to talk to those stylists. There's a lot of amazing stylists here in Philadelphia, Los Angeles. I believe that Philadelphia probably has, pound for pound, one of the most talented areas when it comes to doing hair.
Yes, for sure.
But, see, that's the but. People are so interested in being hot. Don't be hot. Be consistent. Grow. Learn. Never pigeonhole yourself into, I do frontals. I do this, I do that. Because when that declines, now you have to re-identify yourself. You have to consistently be able to reinvent yourself. But you can't truly reinvent yourself if you don't have the talent to do it. Do you get what I'm saying? So like learn, grow. And then like you should be popular. You should be popping in your neighborhood if you've been there for 10 years. Like you should be. Like if you're from North Philadelphia, if you're from South Philadelphia, if you're from Los Angeles, you're from Atlanta, if you're from there, like you've lived there for 30 years and you have friends in high school, you should be popping there. Okay.
What's next?
No, really, like, okay, like you mastered your block, your neighborhood. Everybody knows who you are. You're busy in your neighborhood. Okay. Now, take that blueprint and place it in different places. And there's a lot of people around who are doing that. You have my God, Portia, who does the frontals. You know what I'm talking about? All right, she's a really good. I like her. She came on my class. A really good friend of mine. I like what she's doing. She's traveling. She's doing what she's doing. She hit me. She asked me could she do a class in my salon. But it was BET weekend when she came to LA, and BET weekend, I was just too busy. But she's moving around. I see what she's doing. She's expanding her brand and different things like that. I love what she's doing. You have people who are doing that, but don't be afraid to do that. Don't be afraid to jump around. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to go out there and create your niche and understand that you have to continue to grow. Don't stay in one place and just be good, but good for nothing. You get what I mean? Just be really, really good at what you do. Yeah, you got to continue to grow and expand and reach over and into different markets. When I was in Sassoon, I was the only black stylist in that salon. The only one. Nobody even black came in the salon. I mean, I'm on Beverly Hills, I'm on Sunset, but I'm like, in an uncomfortable situation. Not uncomfortable because of race. I'm talking about uncomfortable because of it's out of my comfort zone. I can do this, the black salon, I can do it with my eyes closed. I can wake up 4 o'clock in the morning, walk into a black salon, make money. I'm comfortable, whether I'm in Chicago, Philly, because that's what I do. That's not growth. So put yourself in an uncomfortable situation so you can grow. Put yourself in a situation where you may not be the best at that. And then that's when you take a little bit from this, take a little bit from that, take a little bit from this, and create your brand. And then that's how you create a solid foundation.
That was good. Right, so this is the last question. Coming from behind a chair is a movement to tell people, not the guy that cut hair and not the girl that do hair, to tell artists, barber artists, salon artists, to tap into another art. What does that mean from Karl? So say coming from behind the chair means to me. What does coming from behind the chair mean to you as an artist?
As a hair artist, coming from behind the chair means just that. Coming from, as a hairstylist or a hairdresser, at the top of that, there's so many, it's like an umbrella, there's so many things underneath it. You can work on set if that's what you choose to do. You can be a salon owner and open salons around the country if that's what you choose to do. You can do education, you can freelance, you can create products, you can create brand, you can create all of these things. So you have to understand that you're not going to get rich standing behind that chair. Okay? I know a lot of amazing hairstylists here in Philadelphia who can do hair better than anything and anybody. But I want anyone right here to name, and I'm speaking to the audience, name one millionaire hairstylist in the city of Philadelphia. Name one. None. Name one rich. I don't mean money. I don't mean somebody who drives you drive a Phantom, or you drive a Maybach, or you drive a Benz, or you got a couple Chanel bags. I mean, you ain't got to work no more. I don't mean that you invested your money and you're doing other things. I don't mean real estate. I mean the beauty industry rich. Millions. Because you have to have millions to be rich. There isn't one. And if I'm wrong, and correct me if there's one, here in the city of Philadelphia, or East Coast, Jersey, Baltimore, name one. There isn't. Now, you go over to the West Coast, and I can run them off, but they don't look like us. You get what I'm saying? Here on the East Coast in New York, I can run off multi-millionaire hairstylists, but they don't look like us. So what is it about the black stylists where our talent is better than anyone's, but our bank accounts aren't? Number one, we settle for less because we feel like we made it with nothing. You can't tell somebody if they don't have, $50,000 in the bank, some bags and a Benz that they haven't, that they just got it. So our standards are super low because we don't surround ourselves with people who have millions doing what we do. And the people who have millions doing what we do is because they came from behind the chair. And I work with and I'm friends with Vidal Sassoon's daughter. Okay? Millionaire hundreds of times over, hundreds of millions, because of her daddy was a hairstylist. Her daddy was a hairstylist. She never picked up a car now, and she does not do hair. But her dad created Sassoon Academies. Her father created the brand, the Sassoon brand, the scissors, the shampoo, the conditioners, the blow dryers, the slogans. If you don't look good, we don't look good. All over the world, the global brand. What is it about the Paul Mitchells, where they're a multi-million-dollar hairstylists? Tony and Guy, hairstylists. You have these people who are just hairstylists, but multimillionaires. But they understood what I told you. Yes, create that foundation behind the chair, but don't be afraid to take that and brand yourself and place yourself in a market where it can flourish. You get what I mean? Like, just don't do it. Like, you have a lot of people, for instance, who have brands, who have shampoos and conditioners. And I'm like, that's a great thing, but why do you have that? Why do you have a shampoo and conditioner with your name on it? Is the brand strong enough to back what's in the bottle? Do you have it just because you have the $5,000 to invest in it? Do you have it because you see people on? See, don't let social media rush you. Do you have an edge? Do you have these things because you see other people having it? It's like, okay, I got to keep up. I want to have it. They have it. They have it. So just relax. Don't put the cart before the horse. Now you just got shampoo and conditioner stacked up in your salon basement, or you're selling it online and you're doing these things, but you don't. Like, if you look at Kiki, Social Genius, right? Really good friend of mine. Her brand demands the product. She established a brand. Her brand was established. She created a strong foundation of what she does. So now people are interested in what she has to say. And she uses it. Now people are interested in what she has to say. People don't use. Some people make products and they don't use it. Yeah, she uses it. Exactly. So it's like people are interested in what she's using because she created a. It's like an artist. You're an up and coming rapper. And nobody really knows too much about you. And you rent out the biggest stadium and you try to sell tickets. It's like, do the Electric Factory first. Do this, do TLA first. Create a buzz, create a strong foundation, create a movement. Create the movement, do what you do, and then jump out and do it. And what's happening is when you do things ahead of time, you get discouraged. And I don't want people to get discouraged. So you come out with these products, you come out with these classes that nobody shows up to. You come up and you're doing these classes. Why are you doing this class? Because you have some people tell you should do this class because your stylists love your work. Everybody is doing everything. And it's like, things have no validity no more. They don't mean anything no more because everybody's doing it. So what'll happen is you'll have somebody do a class, people aren't showing up, or you're overcharging these people, or you have people with all these products and things, and it's like they're not taking the time to do it the right way. Do it. Do your classes. Create your product line. Yes. Do it. But I'm saying don't let what others are doing around you rush you if you're not ready yet. If you're doing a haircutting class, you should be a master cutter. If you're doing a colorist class, you should be a master colorist. You got people doing branding classes with no brands. You have people who are doing classes on how to become a celebrity hairstylist who aren't legitimate, who may have done somebody from a reality show 2 years ago. And it's like they're not qualified. And I just want people, the industry purists, I want people to say, hey, that's not right. We're not speaking up enough. Because we just let people just hijack the industry, and those who know better are just like having conversations amongst ourselves. But it's like nobody's speaking up. It's like, no, what do you, like, you're not qualified for that. So what you're doing is you're taking the industry down some. You know what I mean? It's like, you're not qualified for that. I'm not saying don't ever do it. But at this stage, you're simply not, you're not that. So it's just like, it's oversaturating it. You know what I mean? So come from behind the chair, once again, what means exactly that. Find your lane, build your brand. If it's education, if it's products, if it's hair shows, whatever it is, do that because that's how you're going to get rich. You're not going to cut and curl yourself into millions of dollars. You will cut and curl yourself and weave yourself and use that money to create something. Then use that money to create something and to create something like everyone else did. You get what I mean? So I think it's very, very, very important. If you want to. If you don't want to come from behind the chair and that's just your niche and you just love coming to the salon every day and working and curling and cutting hair, if that's what you're into, I want you to think there's nothing wrong with you. That's fine. You have people who just love the salon life. I love going into the salon. I love it. I don't want to do X, Y, and Z. And that's fine too. And that's the beauty of this industry. No matter what you do or what you want to do, there's a place for you. But I'm just saying, when you jump from behind the chair, just make sure that you can never make sure you're ready. But when you do jump behind the chair, just understand that there is some accountability. There is some prerequisites. Just because you have 100,000 followers or just because your clients tell you X, Y, and Z doesn't necessarily mean you shouldn't ever give classes if you don't take classes. How are you teaching a class if you never attended one? You get what I'm saying? And that's very important to me. So, that's what coming from behind the chair means to me. I think it's something we all should do. I encourage it. But just like anything, do it the right way. And there's too many people coming from behind the chair and they're not doing it the right way. Pay your dues, pay your respect, educate yourself, learn, study, master your craft so that when someone pushes you, you're sturdy. You don't fall over because you're going to get pushed. So you want to be sturdy. You want to be deeply rooted in something so that when the first strong wind comes, you don't quit. When the first strong wind comes, you don't give up. When the first strong wind comes, you don't say, damn, I shouldn't have created this product line. Damn, I shouldn't have opened this salon. Damn, I shouldn't have. You'll start second guessing yourself because you're not sturdy, because you're not deeply rooted in anything first. I'm just saying, dig yourself down deep first, get from behind the chair, do what you want to do so that you're firmly planted, so that you can endure over the test of time. So 25 years later, you can be sitting here saying, look, and I'm telling you because I've made mistakes. I've done things the right way and I've done things the wrong way. The things I've done the wrong way, I would keep them just where they are. I wouldn't change a thing because they made me the guy I am today. You get what I mean? But if I can reach back and say to you as a stylist who's been doing it 3 or 4 years, humble yourself. Because there's somebody better than you. Humble yourself. Because there's somebody who's doing what you're doing. Just be appreciative, learn, grow. Don't dim your light. When I say humble yourself, I don't mean dim your light. I mean, when someone wants to teach you something, listen. When someone says something ain't right, take constructive criticism. Learn from people, grow, and share. And then you'll be able to maintain a career that you'll be able to live off of and be, good to you for your entire life. So.
Thank you so much.
Of
That
course.
was so good.
Thank you.
So good.
Okay.
You ain't never lied about nothing. You ain't never lied.
I try not to.
So much.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. That was
Thank
really
you.
good.